It's time for more outrage and upset. The MTG 30 Collector's Edition product might go down in history as one of, if not the most memed on, most disliked products in the history of the game. And I think I said that about VIP boosters and Secret Lair Fetch Land box thing as well, so I guess I'm talking a load of shit and this is but the foot of that particular mountain. In the words of Winston Churchill, the only way is up, baby. It's you and me now. He said that right before he won the war with nothing but a toothpick in his flaccid cock. But to add insult to injury, they've sent out preview copy. That's free product out to 2 creators at present. I say creators, I defaulted to the word creator. It's not creators, it's Hunter Pence and Cassius Marsh, an MLB Major League Baseball player and an NFL player. Yeah, and the reason people are upset is because those people are millionaires. They've sent the most expensive Magic product in history to Millionaires as part of its marketing. It's a little bit tone deaf. People are mad because these people are rich by any normal person's standards and are getting free, expensive product from Wizards. So does this prove that Wizards of the Coast do not care about the poors and only care about the rich people? Not really, I don't think so. I just think it's just a bit of a slip, a bit of a blunder. Let's talk about that in today's video. This video, as always, is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com. Use the code Kenobi at checkout to get 5% off your order and to help support the show if you're looking to buy some single or sealed product. So it's not unusual for Wizards to send out preview product. It's part of the marketing to send a load of free product to creators and news outlets and influencers. People like me. They then open them on social posts and in videos and on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter and YouTube and all that sort of stuff. It helps drive buzz, it gets into people's feeds. It's marketing. Simply put, it's just marketing. It's cheaper than paying people to do ad spots because, well, that costs actual money that can be spent on, rocketing energy bills and mortgages that are climbing. Instead, they usually send out product that is, created for pennies. So it's a really cheap way of getting influencers on board and fostering goodwill with them and also getting their product into people's feeds. Personally, I think that if people or a company are expecting me to promote their product or drive hype for it on socials, I kind of expect for my time, my business and my platform to be paid for. And credit where credit is due, Wizards have been much more keen to do this in recent time than they have in the past. At least anecdotally they have. Infinity recently, they utilised a PR team in the UK, a third party, to work with influencers to create sponsored content. My dress up like a clown and open Infinity boosters was literally a sponsored post. Not a free preview, as it has been in the past, but I got the free stuff, but it's actually factually sponsored. They paid me a fee after discussion to make the post. The difference between a fee-paid sponsored post compared to the hashtag free preview of old is that Wizards get some input. They get to do a contract with you, they can ask you quite clearly not to be disparaging if they wanted to, and they can get to review the video before it goes out. In my case, they did ask me to do a couple of changes. They were quite soft, honestly, considering, I was quite open about how I felt about Infinity as a product. Something's good, something's bad. They did ask me to remove one bit where I mentioned the cards might have stuck together as I opened a booster. To be fair, I think it was my gloves, so I removed it because I think it was the clown gloves I was wearing. They also at one point asked me to remove a comment about how the lands were in the set to sell it and stuff. And with a bit of back and forth, I said, that's organic, that's honest, and they let it stay. So credit where credit is due. I actually do think it's pretty cool that them and the PR teams they enlist, especially in the Europe sphere, they work with people like me. You can be quite a harsh critic at times, and they also allow me to keep my creative voice and my opinions in the stuff that I do with them. Props to them for that. And that's something I look for when doing these kinds of things. I don't want anyone to ever stifle my creative voice or tell me that I can't be honest about stuff. I actually turn down promotions if they send me a contract saying that I can't be honest about a game or product or whatever. I think that's kind of, that's compromising your morals for money. I need money, but I'm not going to do that for it. I'll find people that will allow me to be myself and pay, get that bag and all that. Anyway, that's just some transparency and context there to using my own experiences to clarify all this. So Cassius Marsh is, one of the football people who kicks the ball for money, NFL player. And Hunter Pence, Major League Baseball, got free product from Wizards, including an already slabbed Time Twister, a piece of power, but not an actual Time Twister. We're talking Magic 30 Time Twister, the ones that aren't actually legal anywhere. And both of them got packs as well, and they post it on socials, tagging Wizards with a hashtag and all that stuff. I would assume neither of them were paid for this, because there's no hashtag ad and no hashtag sponsored on Twitter. If they were paid for it, then I think they've actually breached some marketing and advertising regulations. Let's just assume they haven't been. It's really, really cheap and free, basically, for them to market like this. They've got two people here with huge platforms that play the game that help to increase the brand's visibility and the brand's like rep in the mainstream. Two sports personalities. In the UK, people don't know who these people are. I had to explain to my father-in-law who Hunter Pence was once we were talking about Magic with the whole Black Lotus thing. But in America, I think they bring a lot more gravitas and weight because baseball and American football are big there, right? And the product they're selling them, don't forget, is pennies to make. Literally pennies. They're selling it to you for $1,000 for 4 boosters, but it costs the same to make as any other product that they create, any other card that they create. If anything, this set's had less design work go into it than other sets. I'll come to that more in a moment. So people were pissed off that the people who can afford this stuff, the super rich fans, are then getting free stuff as well. And part of this is probably because it's a bit tone deaf to send this out to literal millionaires when the product has been joked about only being available or aimed at millionaires. That is a bit of a blunder in terms of how that looks, the optics of it to your existing audience. But beyond that, I think there is some animosity towards people getting free products in general. I have had to deal with quite a lot of shit when I've opened a product from Wizards of the Coast or other companies, for example. People saying, why do I get it? Why don't they get it? Forgetting that A, I've got a platform and people that watch, therefore it's actually valuable to the company to send me shit. And B, that I have put the effort in to get here. I just turn on a camera one day and get sent free product from Wizards. It took me fucking ages to get preview stuff from Wizards. So I can relate to some of the shit. But at the same time, this is kind of laughable as a marketing thing, right? Oh, and for the record, I should say I have no problem with these two individuals. I have no idea about Hunter Pence. Hell, I couldn't actually notice him in the street if he walked past me. I only know when he comes up in Magic News. And Cassius, I've met a couple of times, and he's been lovely and accommodating and friendly, so I have no issues with them personally. You just got to bear in mind that they're quite far removed from all the internet drama as well. The echo chamber of online and the chronically online Magic player of Reddit and Twitter and YouTube comment sections is very different to the average player or the average person not engaging with that shit online like these people. They probably don't even realise the backlash is quite as bad as it is. These proxy packs are the designer handbags of the MTG world. They cost an insane markup from the production cost, costing the same exact amount that a normal card would to produce, but marked up to an insane price. And they're also not tournament legal in order to court the collectors and not upset investment types with huge stocks of reserve list cards. So a couple of pennies are spent and these items are out there for consumers to buy for silly money and for genuinely big influencers like sports personalities to open. And like I said, that makes the game accessible to the mainstream consumer because they'll see their favourite sports person opening Magic cards and think, oh, maybe I should do that. Maybe that's okay. Maybe it's okay to like Magic. There's no slight on these people. Like, I actually love Post Malone, but Post Malone and similar helps to increase Magic's mainstream adoption, and that's a massive part of their forward-going strategy, even if they're not saying it publicly. It's obvious it is. They don't want to be the nerdy game that you play at school and get the piss taken out of you for. They want to be the game that, your average soccer mum will buy packs for herself or her soccer... I've lost my point there. The average American will buy in spite of the fact that it's a nerdy card game. But then when you come back away from Magic's growing brand in the outer spheres of consumer capitalism across America and the West and other countries too, I guess. I'm focusing on America here because American sports personalities. But when you come back to the already enfranchised, the people who are already pissed off with the reserve list and then the not quite removing the reserve list and charging you a fucking bomb for it, and all the reasons that this product pisses people off, it then does put a sour taste in their mouth to see literal millionaires getting the free product to open when they can't even afford a pack. It is bad optics internally, even if it makes sense externally. But ultimately it doesn't matter, right? They don't really care about that. They've courted this stuff before. They've dealt with us being annoyed about the Walking Dead Secret Lair or the price of the Fetch Land Super Edition or whatever the fuck it was called. They've dealt with that stuff before and they've come out swinging because people keep buying the product and it's all fine and good. And ultimately a lot of these things, they are issues in the sense that it bugs people like me and perhaps you as well, but the game does carry on and persevere. This one is particularly gross just because it's so mask off, it's so Ahab's spear, did Ahab have a spear? It's so the whaling gun, just like the cloth is pulled off and they're just fucking harpooning rich whales so evidently and so obviously. So it feels a lot more gross than your average thing, but ultimately it will have no bearing on the next set. Brothers War may still be a banger, as will this entire storyline with the Phyrexians coming back. Hopefully the health of Modern or Legacy will improve over time. Modern is looking pretty good right now. Legacy is the one I would like to see some care taken to. What I'm trying to do is contextualize that this product is garbage, like literal shit. But ultimately it is only a small part of the pie. It's only a small part of the product line. In some ways, for our own mental health and our own enjoyment of a hobby, that probably supports that. Because Magic's a big part of my life. I don't know about you. It definitely is for me. Sometimes we've got to compartmentalize a little bit. We've got to be like, okay, that's pretty fucking shit. But if I look over here, maybe it's not so bad. It's okay if they want to court mega celebs to increase brand visibility, as long as we keep sight of the fact that they are trying to sell us some old rope here. These are proxy, non-tournament legal cards with old art assets on them and old designs from an old set with no new design needed. They're repackaged and marked up to around 62 times dearer than the standard booster price for no reason other than it will make an absurd amount of money. Reputation of the game and sentiments of the player base be damned. Greed is good for Wizards. So I do think all of us just raging constantly about this stuff is perhaps not that healthy, but I do think it's good that we're all aware that this product is dog shit. That people are openly talking and ridiculing and mocking it, in spite of the fact that mega celebrities might be supporting it. I think that's good in some ways, because it means that we can stay a bit grounded, I guess. Because if we don't, and everyone just consumes, and doesn't criticize, then we get to a point where they just keep pushing that line. At some point that line will break. At some point they will jump the shark and they will make a product that will bomb because it's so absurd. I kind of hope it's this one, but who knows. At that point maybe they'll peel back and we won't have to deal with fucking $250 booster packs, $1,000 booster boxes with cards you can't even play at your local F&M. On the upside, when I saw that Cassie's Marsh and got some of these boosters, I did start assessing what I was going to do when we saw other creators get them and open them, even though they've been heavily critical of it. And myself, if some of them showed up in my PO box, how was I going to react to that? It's not the affront to God that some people will make it out to be if you open up stuff that you think is shit. There's a meme to it in some ways. I've opened a VIP booster on this channel before, even though I was heavily critical of them. That one was sent by a fan though. It wasn't sent by Wizards to prop up the sales of said booster, I guess. That's a bit different. But ultimately, there was going to be some hypocrisy when people started getting sent free product. I had already planned myself to make a protest of it in some way. I don't know exactly. It crossed my mind to cut the pack in half before opening it. But God, damaging Magic cards is something that I try not to do too much. Either way, fascinating shit, right? But I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think myself or the average creator is going to get sent this stuff. It's all part of that weird way they want to package this as an exclusive club for rich people. And that does sit badly with me. So what do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. Do you think perhaps people are overreacting? Like, who cares at this point? Can we just move on? Or does this whole marketing sort of shtick piss you off more because you think the product is shit? Let me know in the comment section below. I've been Vince, also known as PleasantKenobi on the internet. I'll see you all soon. Ta-ta for now.